Hey guys, Level here. Today I'm making a video for Ludwig's AT&T Annihilator Cup team, or any players of similar level. In specific, the video is more targeted towards Fuslie, who I don't really know, but she asked a question to Flom, and the question was, how do you beat better players? It's a really good question. It's a question I ask myself sometimes in my games. How do I beat these better players? Because there's certain maps where they're just stronger than me. They have a better understanding of the map. They're better. Their aim is better, and it's really hard for me to compete on an aim to aim level. So Flom's answer to the question was, well, you should just hide. And I'm not discrediting Flom, but I didn't really like his answer very much. Uh, Obviously, you need to hide sometimes because you can't win a straight up gunfight against them. And it was only a YouTube short, so I didn't see what happened before or after his explanation. I'm sure he went into thorough detail as Flom is obviously qualified to teach people the game of Counter-Strike. But from the YouTube short that I saw, I didn't really like the answers, so I wanted to make a more in-depth explanation, or at least how I would try to describe it, and hopefully I do a good job of that. So, the YouTube short took place on Inferno. Um, Inferno's a really, really good map, right? You guys are going to be playing in the Annihilator Cup. I don't know what the map pool is going to be, but that could influence some of your playstyle decisions, right? The maps that you're playing. So I imagine you guys are going to be playing the standard Premier maps. If I were you, uh, because you have the power to do so, I would ask Ronnie and Launders to maybe convince AT&T to allow cash into the tournament. Not that I think it would be a good map for weaker players. Um, but okay, cash is not a good map uh, from a viewership perspective, but it is new to the game, and the games probably will be exciting watching, all the top streamers play it. Because it's cash, it's new. I want to see what happens. Obviously, it's not a pro game, so it's not going to be like boring to watch. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So it's Inferno. What you need to know to beat better players is utility, obviously, right? Um, for Inferno, you're always going to throw a molly here and somewhere here at the beginning of the round because you want to stop a B rush. This map, you need to stop the enemy team from getting this area. Because if they have this area, they can kill B rotators, they can get information on the B site, and they always have a fallback plan, right? They always have a fallback plan in case going A fails, or either way, right? If they have, you want to stop the enemy team from getting car, which is the top of banana, or this area, which is called top mid brackets, right? These are the brackets. Um, so if you can prevent them from doing that, you limit their options greatly. Um, you know, you guys are in a pretty good scenario this year where there's no like pros, but you still have to face some dangerous teams. So I guarantee you a player like Jake and Bake is going to be throwing this smoke here on Inferno, right? I took a look at Jake and Bake's team. It's well, it's not Jake and Bake's team. I think it's Adapt, Jake and Bake, Myth, Katamina. So Adapt's team, which I'm sure Adapt is gonna, he's really for the vibes, right? So I'm sure he's gonna let Jake and Bake do his thing. Jake and Bake every year, one, he's decent at the game. Two, he's probably gonna come up with some of the more interesting beginner strategies or concepts in order to win the event, right? Because he's tryharding, but it's okay. No, we enjoy that, right? So he's gonna hit you guys with this smoke, right? And this is gonna limit your T side. So like personally against Jake and Bake's team, I probably wouldn't play Inferno. Because one, this smoke's going to be annoying. Two, he's going to be able to correctly, you know, throw the correct Molotovs wherever they may land, right? Oh, that's an annoying bug. Okay, maybe I'll email that to Valve. Um, so he's gonna hit you guys with the mollies wherever they land, right? And then, you know, maybe he'll hit you with the HE here or the HE here, and you guys are never really gonna make progress on Inferno T-sides early in the round. It's just never gonna happen early, right? So basically, you're just gonna be sitting here for an extended amount of time, and one of the best maps that really explain this whole concept of wasting the enemy team's time with utility is Office. So the reason I bring up Office, even though it's not a map you're going to be playing, is it's the easiest way to explain utility usage and using time to your advantage, right? So this is called elbow, right? Because the hallway is shaped like an elbow. On this map, the CTs are actually the attacking team, and their objective is to get to this room here so that they can get any hostages, right? And it happens to be that the hostage is here this time, but usually they're in here or there. The only way to get to that room is through this door, that hallway, or this hallway, right? So what you want to do is basically keep the enemy team stuck in here, which is main. You want to keep them stuck in the big hallway on the map, right? Where there's not much they can do. And the way you do that is collectively as a team, you try to put as many grenades on this door as possible. So each smoke grenade lasts for about 20 seconds, right? I would say safely 18, right? Because you need to have time to re-smoke it. So if you put 5 smokes right here at 20 seconds a pop, it's 100 seconds, right? 100 seconds is a minute and 40 seconds, right? So if each Counter-Strike round is only 2 minutes long and you've spent a minute 40 on this door being fully smoked, and then after the door is smoked, you can molly it, right? And if each molly is about 7 to 8 seconds, right? We'll just say 7. You could keep mollying it, right? And then, you know, let's say you're out of utility, you can throw a flashbang, right? And the flashbang, you know, as long as it lands in the center, it'll blind anybody there for 2 to 3 seconds, right? So you can completely use up the entire round clock on this door with your utility. Obviously, sometimes you're going to be using utility on this side, right? Like, think of it as this is the A bomb site, and this is the B bomb site, right? So, like, you're going to be using utility on different parts of the map, but if you can kind of stall for as long as possible on one side of the map, they're basically forced to go to the other side of the map. So if you apply that theory to every map, it's going to give you a much better understanding of where the enemy team can and can't be, or should be. So along with like just the basic ideas of countering the beginning of the round, Inferno also provides angles like this, which is called half wall, right? So when you clear this, you kind of have to make a wide step here, right? And then you're turning to look at the sandbag, and then there's this angle, right? So there could be this angle and that angle, which you might peek into at the same time. So you can have a player here with, you know, an SMG or a shotgun. And be careful about your crosshair placement, right? So in Team Ludwig's scenario, you might have LILYPICHU play here, right? And I'm not saying LILYPICHU is bad. I'm just saying she is bronze on Valorant, right? And she obviously she knows what she's doing. She can still hit people. She can still make good decisions, right? But in order to get real impact on a map like Inferno, you might want to play an angle like this, right? This happens at the pro level. This happens at my level. People play here with a shotgun, and it's devastating. Or a 5.7, which is one-shot headshot, close range. And then your M4 player plays either in the off angle here, right? Which, you know, hopefully there's some trade kills going on. Watch out for flashbangs. Or you can play here, right? And you can crouch also. And this is like a half wall setup where you'd be able to counter people walking here, and it's going to allow you to get kills and even the playing field, playing close range angles, right? So what you want to do to counter good players is throw those early Molotovs, right, or fire grenades. Throw the early ones, and then you can throw a deep smoke here, right? So your deep smoke lands at the bottom of banana, which allows you to get more corners, right? More close range angles. So you can play here with a 5.7. You can play here with a shotgun, right? You can play here with a 5.7. You can play here with a shotgun, right? Same concept, right? And then you re-smoke it, and then the time bleeds out, right? So the less time the T's have, the more rushed they are into making a decision, right? So if you can rush the T's into making a decision, a player like your A anchor on Inferno, well, here's what you don't want to do. Early in the round, you can play this area, right? This is called lane or short, and that is called arch or long. So early in the round, you want to be playing around here to contest brackets, right? But as the round progresses and you run out of utility, you don't want to contest this area anymore, because if a lot of T's come up, they saved their utility, they're going to smoke off one of the angles, and they're going to overpower one of these areas, right? So yes, you could take an aim duel here, but if we're versing better players on the enemy team, we're probably going to lose. So there's some setups you can do regarding this truck. You can get on this half wall. With your teammate, you can play some kind of pit setup. You can have a crossfire over here with this guy, and then you swing out, you know, both sides, and you generally want to play with your teammates against wherever the push comes from. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be fighting the best player on the enemy team, because he could be up there. He could be on a lurk. He could be wrapping you behind you. He could be anywhere, really. So obviously against the site push, you want to be able to stop the site push. But let's say you're alone and you don't have a teammate to play with you. So we did those early grenades, banana, at the beginning of the round. And now on Inferno, this is kind of how I like to describe it. The enemy team that's attacking is always going to make the decision on which bomb site they're going to attack between 40 and 30 seconds left on the clock. So if it's getting around that time, I wouldn't push into apps. The only time I would push into apps is if majority of the enemy team is towards B, but your team smoked them off, and it doesn't seem like they're going to push through the smoke, right? So if there's like 20 seconds left on the clock or less, you can push this and look for a lurker, or you can get all the info of the enemy team rotating through middle, right? So they're going to rotate from top car through down middle, right? And you're going to hear footsteps. You're going to be like, guys, they're A, right? Which now gives you time, okay? And what you need is time for your teammates to rotate, because Inferno is a really hard map to retake on. So your teammates are rotating through CT right now. The enemy team has arch control, and they're about to plant the bomb. But you have all the footsteps. So anybody that comes apps here, you have a one-on-one fight. You can kill them. This is pretty unexpected. You could also get into a corner like this while they're walking top mid, right? Their whole team is rotating off B. It's 10 seconds on the clock. They really need a bomb plant, right? You can get into a corner like this and crouch, okay? And the reason you want to do that is because good players are going to be speed clearing, which is just soft clearing, right? They're going to be soft clearing stuff, right? And they're going to look here. They're going to go pit, right? So let's say they do full clear boiler. This is called boiler, even though there's no boiler. Let's say their best player full clears this at head level right, at crosshair, as crosshair's head level, you're crouching, right? So now he has to go down, but by then you've already heard him walking up, and you can see him here, right? So then when he's on your screen here, you're already shooting and he's dead. And that's because you forced him to over clear something and make a full adjustment on it. So like this is a good angle late in the round. Early in the round I wouldn't play it because the T's could take apps control, right? So if they jump up here and they full clear this, you're stuck in the corner, you're dead. If they come here and they walk this way, they're gonna see your head like over the staircase and you're gonna die. So this is like super, super late in the round. This angle is very strong. That's how you trick people that are higher rank. You want to stay alive as long as possible. You don't want to be caught out in the open. Let's say I was right here with 10 seconds on the clock, right? What's the problem with this? Their whole team could come lane, and I have nowhere to play off of because I'm just out in the open. They could be wrapping me arch. I could be getting shot from 2 angles. I could be shot from apartments right now. So if the clock is low, or even if the clock isn't low, if you're alone and you need to buy time for your team to come in for the rotation, right? What should you do? Well, the clock's really low. Maybe I should just sit here and kind of sit in this corner here and wait to see if someone jumps out from above me. And if they jump out from above me, I can kill them, right? And because the clock is low and the T's don't have enough time to fully clear the bomb site, there's a really good chance they're going to plant right here, right? So when they plant right here, I just pop my head up, I kill them, I hide again, or maybe I take a second swing somewhere, depending on where the location of my teammates are. But if my teammates aren't close, then I just hide and I buy more time, right? Because the more time that I buy, the quicker my teammates will be able to get here and get a trade kill or throw some kind of Molotov to counter the bomb plant and win the round. So Inferno is a really, really, really good map because there's a lot of cheesy angles, like, I don't know, this one or something like this, or you can play up here on the railing, close range, or in the corner here. And it's hard because let's say the best player on the enemy team, he's face it level 10 global elite, you know, and he swings this, right? He has to full clear me. And if he doesn't full clear me, my teammate over there will be able to shoot him in the back. So it's about where you're positioning yourselves and how you can use time to your advantage. So similar to Inferno, I think Ancient has a lot of the same qualities as a map. Take this angle, for instance. If the enemy team comes out A main and they don't clear me, or they're coming donut late, right? That room over there is called donut. Um, if they come out A main and they don't clear me, I'm gonna be behind them while they're planting the bomb, right? So that's kind of like I'm hiding on the A side of Inferno. Or if they come out donut and I decide to hide on this box, holding for an A main swing, I can wait until the donut players go this way, right? Because they have to clear a main, right? I mean, they might clear the box, but they have to clear a main. So eventually I'm going to get a 1v1 here, and I'll probably be able to kill the guy. And let's say they don't clear me, I can step out and kill the bomb planter, and then I can kill this guy, and then I can just hide on the box and buy time, right? And I don't recommend this play style. It takes a lot of practice to be able to just hide in plain sight, basically. Um, but you know, it's the same process, right? Like I'm the clock is low. I'm hiding. I could be boiler on Inferno, right? This is like the boiler on Inferno. I kill the one guy that crosses to clear a main, right? And then I don't overswing because there's probably 3 guys on my screen. I can shoulder peek. I can jump spot. I can you know, maybe just kill the bomb planter and hide, whatever. Um, it's just like Inferno, whether you're in boiler or you're in mini pit or you're just hiding pit. You're basically going to let them plant the bomb, and then you're going to peek out and shoot him while he's planting the bomb, or you're going to shoot somebody else. Let's say you're in a 1-on-2, you might allow them to plant the bomb because the player that's planting the bomb does not have his gun up, right, for a certain amount of time, whether he sticks the bomb plant or he has to swap to his other weapon. You're going to have a period of 1 to 5 seconds where you're going to be able to swing out. That player is not going to have his gun, and this player will. So you'll be able to kill this player and then shift over to this player while he's pulling out his gun and kill him. So, I mean, it's pretty basic for me, but it may be mind-blowing for somebody else. And the other nice thing about Ancient is there's a lot of these close range angles where people have to hard clear you. Whether you're tucked in the corner or you're just holding for the person walking out, you could be really anywhere along here. Even with a rifle, this angle's quite annoying to clear, because you have to like step up here and then go here, right? And, you know, I might clear this slowly and methodically, right? And I might still lose. Normally when I clear that angle, I go up here. But if I clear it here, I might lose just because it's close range and, you know, you have a lot of cover towards the bottom left of your player model, right? So I can really only shoot you here. And if I don't hit your head, I might lose depending on what weapon you have, right? Even against a worse player. This angle is really strong with an auto. This is an XM. Same thing with Ancient, right? If you want to kill a better player, instead of really peeking him while he's walking up middle here, I might just hide Donut and let them walk into Donut and take a close range gunfight, right? Because I might not have the best mechanics, I might not have the best spray control, but the closer range I am to this player, like let's say I hear him walking right here, he can clear me and I can take the fight, but if he's clearing me, I'll probably lose. So at some point when he gets close enough, I have to swing. If I swing, I don't actually have to counter strafe or stand still close range. I can just shoot. I'm fully moving and all of my bullets hit this pillar, which is about the size of a player model. So anybody close range, you can actually just fully move and you should kill him, right? You might even get two, right? You kill this guy, you transfer to this guy, right? And then, you know, I was moving on the first kill, but then I stood still on the second kill. And my bullets were able to go here in a straight line. Don't overthink what's happening when you're seeing a fight. One more thing about Ancient, and then I'll circle back to overthinking about what's happening in the fight. I don't recommend Ancient necessarily, because if you're defending, it's going to be really hard for you to position yourselves to win the round. But you will be able to position yourselves to get opening kills if the situations are right. So again, this is another room where if you can get into it, maybe you smoke it off. This corner, that corner, this corner, this corner, up on this box, actually right here is like very good. Especially maybe not with the M4A1S because it sticks out, but other guns, close range are very good. You can get on this box. This is an off angle that's under cleared. I mean, obviously I wouldn't stand still. A lot of this game, is like not standing still. But, you know, if you smoke this off, right, with just one of these, right, and then you play the smoke, you can sit here. It's unlikely you'll get spammed through the smoke. You'll be able to hold this angle. Holding angles is like, I don't really want to recommend it because it doesn't work as well in CS2, but that's more of an advanced concept. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff. You can hide in this corner, right? This is hiding, right? This is what Flom recommends, hide, right? And it works, right? It does work. You need to know utility to stop the push, obviously onto B ramp, and then you need to position yourself. Like, I don't recommend playing Ancient. I really, really don't. But there are some advantages to it if you start the game on the correct side. Because the problem is like if you lose one of the sides of the map, it's very hard to rotate in, right? And then like, let's say it's one of those scenarios where, guys, it's A bomb site, and the A bomb site's in front of me, right? And I'm like, hey, you know, I'm a B player and I cleared out B, right? I got all the way to here and I'm like, well, B site's clear, so it must be A, right, guys? And there's 10 seconds on the clock. What's gonna happen is You're gonna have a player over here, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, there's 10 seconds on the clock. They could be mid. Oh, I'm dead," because they're, well, either they're already red room, which I guess is a possibility, but you had a huge blind spot. You had a huge, huge blind spot for a really long time, like 30, 40 seconds of the round, and they came through mid and they shifted through donut, right? So sometimes, and then they're planting the bomb. So like sometimes, like you could have won the round had you not went here to clear mid, because there's no point in clearing mid. The clock is too low. What you should do is like, okay, be careful of mid in case there's a guy holding for rotations, but you should be moving A as soon as possible to stop the guy planning, to kill them while they're walking out donut. It's a very, very hard map for people to really comprehend, so I don't necessarily recommend playing Ancient. But there are some stylistic capabilities that could work to your advantage. So Mirage is probably the most known, or at least the second most known map compared to Dust 2. And, well, if you can avoid playing it against a team with better players than you, I probably would. Now, the resources are plentiful for how to take mid control with certain grenades, or how to do an A execute. And walk out. And if you want to play execute CS, the A execute is one of the tried and true, you know, kind of beginner strats where like you smoke stairs, you smoke jungle, you smoke CT, you get a bomb plant down, you clear the bomb site, you molly under Balk, right? Super standard. And like that's cool. Anyone can do that. The problem is like if you're versing like 3 really good players, they're probably going to know how to deal with this. And I mean, like, it can get you some rounds on T side, but fine. But if you try to do mid control and you're playing a really good player, he can shut down your entire mid take by himself. If he plays con or window and he's really good at the game, like, it's going to be hard, obviously, but like, I respect Summit's Counter-Strike, okay? If Summit is playing middle, then and I'm Team Ludwig, and I walk out here. I mean, you have Squeaks. Let me double check your roster. Okay, so like here's how I evaluate your team, right? You have Ludwig, who has a decent amount of Counter-Strike experience at this point. He just played an event. I watched some of it. I didn't watch all of the matches, so I don't know how people played. Um, is Ludwig going to be able to kill Summit if Summit is down there bottom mid? Probably not. Is Squeaks going to be able to kill him? Maybe. Is Scump going to be able to kill him? Maybe. Maybe, but like less than Squeaks, right? Is LILYPICHU going to be able to kill Summit? Maybe, right? I don't know if I said no. I think I said probably not for Ludwig. Is LILYPICHU going to be able to kill Summit at the bottom of con? Maybe, right? Like maybe she just comes out, she hits a running 1 dig, right? I can't buy. Okay, so she comes out top mid, right? And she has a deagle, she looks window and she goes bang, right? And that was full running too. Dude, I actually did that full running and the bullet was like not necessarily on the head, but okay. Well, it was mid chest. But like honestly, like that could have been a headshot from LILYPICHU, who knows, right? And like sometimes to answer Fuslie's question, Fuslie's question, what's the best way to kill better players? It's just to like rely on fucking bullshit. Like full running, you one tap that guy. Obviously the bolt doesn't hit, but like full running, try to counter strafe. Do try to counter strafe if you know how. And like full running, maybe you come out wide and you just crouch and you spray, right? And to be honest, like for a player like me at my level, I can play connector, but if I'm versing like 3 or 4 guys on my screen and I don't have any help from my teammates, it's going to be very hard, right? Like I would much rather prefer to fight middle if I had a window player helping me, if I had a con player helping me, if my A player was throwing a flashbang for me to fight with, right? So if I had all of these as Summit, and then I could already kill you on my own as Summit. But if I had people swinging with me and a flashbang behind me, I mean you're losing. Like you're just lost. Like there's no point in going middle. Um Even if it's smoked, Summit will just come out of the smoke, dude, and he'll probably do some fucking self flash shit like this and just kill 3, right? Like that's what's going to happen, right? So Mirage, you do not want to play against better players. You absolutely do not want to play against better players. And it's like, okay, well, but you know, it's the map I know best, and well, there's all these corners that I can hide in with a shotgun, like you said on Inferno, right? I can hide here, and well, I can hide here, and oh well, I can hide jail, and I could be boosted ninja, right? And you know, I could hide back here, right? And yeah, there's all those nice angles you can play close range where you're going to be able to even the gunfight and make the mechanics super, super easy for yourself. But how many times is the enemy team really going to come B, especially if they only have 1 or 2 good players? They're going to be coming out mid, they're going to be looking for mid entries, and they're going to be doing A executes, right? If they do A executes, they know that they can get out onto the bomb site and probably kill an anchor player right here, and it's fine. And if they're really, really good, instead of smoking CT, they're going to be smoking deep CT and playing CT and making sure that the bomb's planted for them, so they have extra layers of security to win the round, right? It's going to be super unlikely that if I'm Summit's team and I'm playing Ludwig's team, that I'm going to be doing B hits, unless we're broke and we're doing a rush. Uh, that we're going to be doing B hits, because why would I walk into like not so great player? I'm not saying Ludwig's team's bad. I actually think they're fine. I think their CS team's fine, because basically everyone on Ludwig's team plays CS, even if a little bit. It matters a lot, right? If you're like 10K, like it matters a lot compared to just not playing the game at all. And you know, the only one who doesn't really play is LILYPICHU. But I mean, she's getting I literally just pulled up their stream just to see how good she was, and like she's fine. Like you know, like she here we'll watch a video. Some LILYPICHU gameplay, fucking bronze 3 on Valorant, and like somewhere around sub 10K to like 10K Premier CS. Okay, why does that matter? Well, why does it matter? You can play Valorant like a CS player, but you cannot play CS like a Valorant player. And I will show you why soon.
Nice.
So she's in lower tons, right? She's vocal stimming. That's great for the vibes. Great voice, musical talent.
It's
two?
scout.
Yeah, there's 2.
Okay, Lily, I'm gonna join you. If you
She's
can
mid door. They didn't
follow.
know this was an opper, right? But she's like, she's worried about mid. Crosshair placement, not great. There's an opper. Okay, opper missed.
That's enough. That's
But she
enough.
shift cleared the
That's
door. So against the real CS player, against, you know, a global elite, you know, one of those strong rifle players, against, you know, anyone who knows how to play CS, she's probably dead, right? Because she shift cleared the door.
I don't know what to do now.
She doesn't know what to do.
Not mid.
Fuck. Do you have
Yeah,
Yixo?
yeah.
She's playing with Valkyrie.
Probably
Valkyrie.
I have a smoke. Yeah.
She's got a smoke. What should we do with the smoke? Okay. Ray went way too fast. There's a minute on the clock. You know there's an opper B ramp, right? The opper was mid door, so he's B ramp. Ray's going too fast. You got to be closer to your teammate, right? That's more Ray's fault because she went too fast. She asked for a smoke, but she's running before the smoke blooms, so that's Ray's fault. So try to get the smoke down, right? If you know how to smoke B door, great. If you don't know how to smoke B door, try to drop one outside of the tunnel. So like kind of in front of Ray right now, so that you can get past. Okay, now you were gonna throw it back sight, right? Now you could have bounced it off this box to give yourself some space here, anywhere close or far is good. Close is better because you're less likely to die to the opper on the door frame. Now, you've gotten to this point anyways because the opper, maybe he played passive and didn't hold, right? You can smoke the window frame. You can throw it into the frame. You can throw it. There's lineups you can do based on this sign that bounce off towards the door. That's a bit more advanced. Don't worry about it, bro. Just all you got to do is throw the smoke down. Ray went too fast. Not your fault, right?
Can you smoke?
Okay.
Please?
You threw it while running, which is why it missed. Your crosshair placement was actually on the window, but it missed. And it's because you tried to hide, which is smart. It was actually smart you tried to hide because the opera could have peeked you. So I played a little bit of Valorant. I don't really know how the utility works while running. I think in that game, the utility goes where your crosshair is, no matter how you're moving. On this game, you kind of need to be standing still for it to accurately be placed. Same way with the weapon. You can't really be moving unless you're super close range with the weapon for it to be accurate.
Oh,
So it missed
did it
slightly.
work?
That's fine. She mollied the door. That's fine.
Oh.
She planted open. Right. So you know there's an opper. Your teammate's planning open. So you can play in tunnels. Ray planted for you to sit in tunnels because the bomb's planted for you. So you don't need to cross to the bomb site. Also, if Ray gets jumped through the window or the door, you can swing out from tunnel and trade her. What you're doing now is risking your death. You're not defending you're not really defending anything. There's 3 CTs alive, right? So you know there's one outside B with an op. You know there was a guy long and there's one missing, right? The guy long had a scout. You saw him earlier in the round. So that other guy was probably in between both of those players. So he's either CT or catwalk. And technically, he could go tunnels behind you right now. But you cross the site. It's fine. I don't mind it. You go back here, right? Cool. This is a good post plant, right? Like this is a good location. The idea was good. It's just crossing was extremely dangerous. Now you're holding for tunnels because you realize there could be one tunnels, and you're only exposing yourself to one angle, which is great. This is fantastic.
Help us.
Okay? You're a little worried, right? Again, not the best crosshair placement, but I've seen worse. Okay, you get mollied off, right? And that's going to happen. Actually, I'm so fucking surprised that this molly was thrown in the rank of this game. It's a 10K lobby and someone threw a backside B molly. Like, that's impressive, right? What do you do here? Ray's under window. She can't really save you if you run out. If you do run out, you should try to position yourself to fight the window player, and hopefully Ray can reposition to also fight the window player so she at least gets something of value for your death. But what do you do here? You don't run out. You realize that the box is not on fire and you're going to try to get on top of the box. That's fucking genius. You're a fucking genius. What great survival instincts, right? Because if you run through the fire, you're always going to die. Now, if you were a little bit better, you actually would have had a little bit more health if you went faster.
Run out,
But you realized that there was a gap in the molly, and you tried to position yourself in the gap. Now, they heard you burning, most likely. If they didn't, now this is it's an angle. I mean, you have 10 health, so you're not really of much use. Especially if they swing tunnel, if they come out door, double swing Ray, you know, come wide box, like, you're probably fucked, right? But the survival instincts are wildly impressive. Like, way better than a lot of players I've seen. Ray gets a kill door. They double swing door. Their spacing was bad. Ray didn't get traded. Ray kills 2. You're holding door in case. Last guy's window. And honestly, if you were standing still instead of moving backwards while shooting, you would have killed that guy. Now he's... You know where he is? Honestly, I would hide. Why would you hide? You're 10 HP, and he's not defusing. The bomb is on the left over here, and he thinks it's on the double stack pillar. And if it's on the left, you'll hear him run over to the left, and then you'll hear him get on the bomb. So you wait about 3 of the 5 seconds. It takes 5 seconds to defuse the bomb. 4 seconds to plant, 5 seconds to defuse. So you wait for about 3 seconds so that you can swing from this wall on your left, right? Now what happens is you swing a little early,
Wait,
he
did
kills
we,
you.
Did we win?
We're good. We
Did
won.
we
We won. We
win?
won.
You win anyways. You win anyways. But you, like, let's say there was more time on the clock, you could have just stayed hidden. Like, actually well played. Like, actually well played. It was nice that Ray got 2 kills, but
Thank God.
Almost gone. Yes.
like, I can't believe you guys won this round and you got one, you both crossed against the op without smoking door, and you got mollied out backside, which is super unfortunate. Like, that is incredible. Like, actually a good round. So like, I would if I was in some type of tournament like this, like, I would never consider a player like LILYPICHU to be a liability on my team, because what she just displayed here, if she can do that, you know, even if it was pure luck, if she can do that, like, to some extent, that's great.
Lily just let you fight World War III by
No,
yourself.
I
Now,
honestly,
in the
you
next
guys weren't
round,
even worried. There were no comms, first of all.
Well,
Oh,
you heard the
sorry,
gunshot,
sorry.
right?
in the next round, they walk up long here,
Gunshot.
right? And
It was indeed. It was
the
indeed a
problem
gunshot.
is how they take the A site.
Where I see the enemy on the mini map too. Also, I did go nonverbal.
So also, Ray just mentioned that the communication was bad and Lily didn't know what to do because the positioning was weird, right? So there are radar settings in the game which can help you with awareness of what's happening. There is one called dynamic radar setting, and if you have like some, I don't have any issue with it, but if you have some kind of ADHD, I probably wouldn't put the dynamic setting on because it'll always be moving and it will be a distraction for you. A lot of weaker players will struggle with reading the radar when they're supposed to be reading the radar, and not reading the radar when they shouldn't be looking at the radar. You know what I mean? Like, just, they're going to be looking in the top left of their screen when they shouldn't be. They're in a 1v1 clutch. They know exactly where the guy was, and they're like, oh, fuck, bro, I was looking at my radar. Why are you looking at your radar? You know the guy's in the corner. Like, like, actually inexcusable why you were looking at your radar. It doesn't make any sense, right? In that case, there's no reason for Lily to be looking at radar. The only time Lily should have looked at the radar was when Ray started shooting, because if she's 10 HP on the box, there was a molly below her, and she can really only die from tunnels. If she dies from tunnels, she was going to die anyways. So I would look at the radar to see how many people are swinging door, so you have a better concept of what's happening if you have the chance. And then you can decipher that the other player is probably window or super, super late tunnel, or he could be a third player door, right? So if you know the other guy's window, you'll be able to time your peek to trade Ray from window, right? In this scenario, it didn't really fucking matter. There are scenarios where it does matter. I'm not going to go into detail of that.
Joshin.
Okay, so they go long.
What was that?
No long flashes. Some team damage dealt at the beginning of the round. No long flashes. Again, we're shift clearing.
You guys were on
This
fire.
this is not something we shift clear. We speed clear. We crouch clear. We throw flashbangs. You can smoke the corner. I don't really like smoking the corner.
We're on
It's fine.
fire.
Shift clearing is weird. It's just because it's low elo. There's nobody here. In this tournament, there's going to be players long. You're going to be standing in a molly right now, and this should not be possible in that streamer tournament. So you're also looking at the floor this whole time.
Okay. Also,
I see what you tried to do there. I'm not going to fault you for this. Just try to step out a little bit and angle it a little bit more. And then also, if there's a player on your team throwing a smoke, Valkyrie is throwing the cross smoke that lands on the tooth sign behind you. And then it bounces here in the cross. I am losing my voice. It lands in the cross, right? So if someone is throwing long smoke, they should probably be calling it just from a team perspective. I don't think she called it.
Lily had bomb.
I'm also not paying attention. You also have bomb here while looking at the floor and running up long. That's mega dangerous. You were really, really concerned with, I don't know if you're just turning, but you're really concerned with the shrapnel from the grenade.
I missed it.
Okay. try to keep in mind, like, I'm pausing a lot, but hopefully this helps. Try to keep in mind that you see this. Like, if you can see the shrapnel from the grenade, then you can see this because you're paying attention to what's happening on your screen, right? So this is a flashbang. So you should try to go into cover right now. And even if it's enemy team or not enemy team flashbang, you should try to go into cover. Also, there are things you can do with your HUD where you can crunch it towards the center of your screen. And seeing what's happening in the bottom left here is really helpful because you'll be able to see when your teammates are throwing flashbangs or nades, right? So right now you can see that your teammates are not throwing a flashbang because it doesn't say flashbang in the bottom left. So this right here is an enemy grenade, right? This is an enemy flashbang grenade.
As well. Big. Yeah.
It was thrown way too high. You did go to cover, which is great. But the problem is you and Valkyrie are playing this like it's Valorant. So you know, maybe you don't know he's behind the box, but you did see the flashbang come. That could have been elevator, to be quite honest with you. You guys are throwing a catwalk molly, so you need to be hard clearing this box and be very cautious of Ninja. So on radar right now, you can see that there's a player elevator who just killed this guy named Pickles, right? Purple is really concerned with elevator. You have a guy holding flank. So green is holding elevator. So purple does not need to be holding elevator. Purple needs to be clearing the bomb site with you, and you need to be going wide right. I can see why it's delayed because you were temporarily flashed. You're trying to clear. Keep going wide right. The guy's stuck on a box. Your guys are also, well, he's using a USPS, but I mean, any gun, you keep going wide right. You shot a little early because your crosshair is not on the guy. And honestly, I think you just got unlucky with this. The reason he's able to kill you with the USPS is because you're kind of standing still, which is why you need to keep moving right until you're at an angle that fully clears that box. And then when you're at the angle or just before the angle, similar to the mid-door peek that you took against the Opera, you're going to want to crouch and then spray into that guy, right? And then you're going to want to crouch to move your head away from the pistol, and you're going to spray into that guy. And Ray should have been closer, and she was too focused on the elevator player that she walked away from you to full clear elevator. So her spacing was bad, right? And now you're upset because you died to a pistol. Okay, you guys get all these trade kills, right? Right now, what should you be doing, Lily? I know, well, I'm not going to say anything. But what should you be doing, Lily? You should be saying, one more on site. You should be screaming, he's on this box. Ah! Right? And then Ray will probably hard clear the box because I think she walked up to this bomb site. She mollied off the box, which, I mean, I guess is fine. But if you guys were just going wide right up the ramp around the barrels towards Goose, this corner is called Goose because there's a goose on the wall, you guys would almost certainly kill this guy 100% of the time. But both of you, Ray more so, she's trying to take these like weird headshot angles against the pistol, which is not what you want to do because this is in Valorant. Right? She's trying to like pre-fire the guy around the box, right? And she's trying to like tap fire him. Dude, you got to swing that shit like you've got a minigun and you're trying to clear the room. Like if you have a minigun in like I don't know. Do they have miniguns? And okay, you're playing COD zombies, right? You're playing Nazi zombies, and there's 300 zombies in the room. You got a minigun. Are you gonna sit there and like tap his head one by one? Or are you gonna wide swing with the minigun and light that whole fucking room up, right? So what you gotta do is you gotta wide swing and light that whole fucking side of the box up to eliminate that guy. And what you could see from Ray there was she's like trying to go for his headshot. Right? And that's kind of like I think that's like a Valorant syndrome, in my opinion, is they're always trying to tap fire, right? You gotta wide swing.
Oh my god.
Now, this guy was just holding flank the whole time, and that's fine. And now he's in a 1v2. He's got 45 seconds. I like that he backed up.
One on site and one
Actually, I don't know who this is. Is this Katamina? Nice scout body shot, full blind, by the way, and unfortunately only hit the Glock, so that guy had 20 health left over.
What?
But
Just full flashing you is crazy.
yeah, I mean, honestly, like,
Okay, okay.
040 once again.
don't be upset about the 0-4. Like, you didn't, like, you played that other round really well.
Or was that the enemy?
Because,
Wasn't that you?
think about it, you were backside, you got mollied off, you didn't die, right? If you died, Valkyrie probably would have gotten pushed from door and window at the same time, and you guys would have lost that round. So you're, like, even though you're 0-4, you still made a great play by not dying. And then here, you did get instantly headshot, and you could have played it a little bit better, but the teammate behind you played it much worse. I'm not taking shots at Valkyrie. She didn't have the spacing or the. She was super worried about this elevator guy. Elevator guy is pinned down by the car player, and he cannot push elevator. And what's more important is Lily needs to clear the bomb site and get the bomb down, right? So a guy can sit elevator. You guys can plant the bomb. It's not like a big deal. It's just a little bit of tunnel vision there from Ray, and she abandoned her entry teammate. So you never want to abandon your entry teammate. You always trade on the sight box and then turn to the elevator guy, because if the elevator guy kills your team, he's going to run elevator. You're going to hear the footsteps of that. You're going to be able to react to the footsteps in the swing, and you'll be able to kill that guy. Also, catwalk is mollied, so you can never be shot from your far right. So again, you're only worrying about the one elevator guy if you killed the guy on site. But if you don't kill the guy on site, the whole round is a flop. Right. So that's how good LILYPICHU is. And, you know, if she could definitely kill anybody, like she could definitely kill somebody if I don't clear this, right? Or if I don't clear that, or if I don't clear this, right? But like, why would I give you the opportunity? I mean, obviously I could just do a B execute with good mollies here and there, and you're not really gonna have anywhere to stand against our entire team. You're not gonna be able to defend the bomb site. So, kind of like if I'm Ludwig's team and I don't have the best CS players in the tournament, even though I have Squeaks and Scump, like Scump's not bad. I do think the other teams are better though. So Scump and Squeaks are definitely your two best Counter-Strike players. Even though Scump doesn't really play CS like that, like I remember he played last tournament, he played good. So I'm gonna say he's probably your second best player just because he's the COD Pro mechanic fucking wizard, right? So you basically have two good CS players, or two great CS players, and we'll say three good CS players, right? I'm not gonna like put LILYPICHU below good, because there's no reason to do that. She's good. She's good. Okay, Burt Peanut's team, Double Lift, has played well in CS before. Hutch, great CS player. Is Double Left great? I feel like he had some nice series last tournament, so like he's not as good as Hutch, but he's definitely good. Like I think he's probably better than Ludwig, right? He's probably better than fuslie and LILYPICHU. So maybe there needs to be a fine and a good and a great, right? But Double Lift is a strong Counter-Strike player for this level of event. Nadeshot's been grinding, okay? Nadeshot has been grinding. He's faced at 8. I've been watching his streams here and there. He's got a little bit of an issue, like dealing with his mental during the game, and you know how stupid teammates are. But that's every Counter-Strike player, okay? Like even I do that. So, but I've been watching him, and he's way better than what he did in the tournament last year. Do not fool yourself. What he did in the tournament last year was criminal. I would say he threw it for his team from what I remember. But this year he's faced at 8. I think he hit 20K on Premier. I mean, he's a legit player now. He's a legit CS player now. Especially after all those fucking cases he opened. And you know, that's nice to see, because Nadeshot is one of the reasons I started playing the game. I was watching Summit beforehand, and then at some point Nadeshot posted a video of him playing CS:GO on Xbox, and that really, really was one of the last straws into me installing the game for the first time. Because he was playing on Aztec with the op, and he like I think he showed us an ace or something, and I was like, man, this is so sick. I have to play this game today, right? And eventually, I played the game, so that's cool. So already they got 3 good players. I don't know. Her name's Yvonne. I don't really know how good she is, but she probably plays Valorant to some extent, so she can't be that bad. And then the team leader is the Burnt Peanut, who has really good mechanics on Tarkov. Obviously, that's an incredible mechanical game. I'm sure he's played Counter Strike before with Gingy, who's also in the tournament. I would imagine he's probably been around the block as a PC gamer before, and I imagine he's like if I bet money on it, I would assume he was global elite or high LE at some point, like high LEM. So that team is stacked. Okay, like they have 4 very strong players. Minimum. I don't know how good Yvonne is. She could be fucking immortal on Valorant for all I know. And then you guys are fucked. Like if you play that team on Mirage, you guys are cooked. And I imagine Double Lift or Hutch is gonna break out the op, and it's gonna be a problem. Um, or Team Adapt, who I love Adapt, but I don't think he's gonna be that good at CS. Jake and Bake is gonna be able to break out the strats. Okay, he's a very strong player. He's gonna break out like the smoke executes and shit. He's gonna make sure his team is educated and that they're calming correctly. And you guys will be able to probably go even against that team, maybe beat them, because you have Scump and Squeaks, which is a bit overpowering. But okay, like Myth should be fine at CS, right? I mean, he was the Fortnite guy. I know he's terrible at League of Legends, so that team's cooked on League, even though they have well, maybe not. I mean, they have Jake and Bacon. No, yeah, they're cooked on League. I think this is the year that Emeru doesn't beat Double Lift because she's not paired up with T1, and I don't know. Actually, that team's not that bad, but I think Myth is going to be a weak link on their league team. So, but for CS, right? Emeru, I remember last tournament, like she used the SMG pretty well. Katamina, I think, is pretty decent at Valorant, from what I know. Myth should be good at CS, and then Adapt, I really have no clue, man, because that guy's, I don't know, man. Like, he didn't fake his trick shots, man. Honestly, they should just have Adapt op all the time, bro. Maybe that would be like peak media. Yeah, I think you guys could definitely like if it was Mirage, or sorry, if I was playing Team Adapt and I was Team Ludwig, I would not fear playing Mirage against that team. Like I feel like you guys have an advantage, but against the Burnt Peanuts team, I would not play Mirage. Really bad idea. I would not play Ancient. Really bad idea. Against Team Tyler 1, Tyler 1 is going to sandbag CS really hard, but Summit has the potential to be the best player at CS in this event. So he could just beat you on his own. Very possible. It just depends on how well Squeaks plays. I'm not familiar with Emily Wang. Actually, I think I pulled up her Twitch page before, and she's like some really good TFT player, but that's not going to translate well over to Counter-Strike. I know Dizzy Kitten has played CS in the past, and Gingy's a Tarkov player, also cracked. So, and I think she's played some CS on stream before. So, like that team, they basically have two. Oh, I mean, Tyler 1 tried to play CS, but like he was struggling. He struggled in the last tournament, and 2, he struggled in like mid Nova, like mid Nova or low Premier rating. It was I don't think he's very good at CS. So basically, you guys have to beat Summit 1G, who's probably the best player in this tournament at CS. Dizzy Kitten, which I don't really know how good her CS is, because last time like I saw her play was like over 10 years ago. And then Gingy's probably pretty good at CS right now. So it's you have to verse like a 1 to 3 players, but one of the players is gonna be God, right? So Mirage is kind of a gamble. It could work out depending on what your game plan is and how you can kill the site players, right? Because if one of the site players is one of their weaker players, like if T1's over here on ticket and you guys go A every round, T1's going to get tilted. He's going to start screaming. You can talk shit, obviously, because you're Ludwig. You can type, ha ha ha, you're terrible at CS, T1, and I'm better than you at League and chess, and ha ha ha. And then T1 will get super tilted, and then he'll start aggro pushing A every round, and you'll just sit here and wait for him and kill him. And then Summit will have to pick up the slack, right? So if Summit is the best player, he's probably going to be playing Con. And if he's playing Con, he can't go aggro mid to stop any mid pushes. He'll have to lean towards A every round, which opens up for you guys to either kill him top stairs or bottom Con, whatever. You might force Summit to go through one of these smokes, and you can just hold the smoke. Or you guys could kill T1, ramp, and then go B, and then kill the other weak player who's on the B player, right? The thing is, though, it's like, even though it's a weak player, the positions are still strong, right? Because basically, like, most people, if they're bad, they're just doing this. Well, not bad. Like, good players do this too, right? But, like, if they're bad, they could just do this, right? Which means jump spot, oh my god, I saw a guy drop a smoke, right? Hide, right? And then you guys didn't really kill the anchor, and then now Summit has time to rotate over. So it's questionable, right? It's questionable. Do you play Mirage? Because Summit is going to be everywhere, and he's going to tear you guys apart. But, I mean, you guys, like, you do have a strong, like, okay, it sounds silly, but the way I think about it is how strong is your rifling core, right? That's how I evaluate pro teams. How strong are their rifle players, right? So if you have Squeaks and Scump come out A main as your entry duo, right? You kill T1, and then they're going to trade against Summit. Those are two strong players. Is Summit going to be able to kill both of those players? Oh my god. Is Summit going to be able to kill Squeaks and Scump right here every time? And then, honestly, Ludwig could be Palace, or Ludwig could be like Ludwig. He's the vibes guy, right? He's the glue guy, right? I assume. So he's probably going to be throwing the utility, right? And then you just need to have not Lily. Do not put Lily in Palace. Okay? I would honestly just focus A main. Probably put 3 A main. Who's your other player? Fuslie. Okay, Fuslie is like not that bad. Like Fuslie could go Palace, right? And then she could apply pressure. I mean, this is just me like shadow boxing like shit in my head, but you guys could definitely kill Summit here, and then you have to worry about Gingy. I think Gingy's gonna be a problem. Gingy's gonna be like she's gonna be a top 7 player in KD, I think, for Counter Strike. Let me think about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Ooh. Okay, so there's 9 players I think are good at CS. Like, and good, I mean like great. Uh, just based off of name value. I think Gingy is not number 9. So she's gonna be like you could argue that Summit's team has 2 of the best players, is what I would argue for CS. But their roster as a whole, maybe not the strongest. Okay, so Dust 2 is like the tried and true map, right? You could play this even against better teams, but the problem is if the more players they have, the more control they're going to have over the entire map, right? So the Burnt Peanuts team is probably the best CS team overall, and I would be really worried about playing them on a map where they're comfortable, right? And they're going to be comfortable on the Mirage, on the Dust 2, on the Ancient, right? Because they have a strong rifling core. Beating them on Dust 2 is going to feel impossible, but it is possible. My advice is you should listen to Squeaks. Whatever he says, you listen. You should be trying to take mid as much as possible. If you can ever have Dust 2 door smoked. Like, basically, okay, if you want to play... My recommendation is you don't play spawn-based CS, right? So if your spawn is leaning this way and you want to go B, don't do that. If your spawn's leaning this way and you want to go long, don't do that. Every round, come here, smoke mid-door, right? Once that blooms, you come out mid, have somebody hold for long push. You come out mid, right? Molly lower. Throw a flash this way, right? And then double swing cat, right? And then also, if you can, clear lower, right? Because there could be a guy back there. Sometimes you're going to have a player here. He can full run. If he full runs, he's going to underhand this flashbang. If he underhands the flashbang, he just swings out this way. If he doesn't do that, he can shift and come slowly. And come slowly. He can shift and come slowly. He can go this way, right? And obviously, like, listen for the stairs. So what I just did, don't do that. Shift here, wait for sound, audio, right? And then, like, when your team's coming out middle, you need to do the reverse clear, right? So this clear is bad, but, like, probably be very careful. I don't know how to describe this because it's really going to look different on your screen, but you want to clear the corners, and then this molly is going to be here from your mid player, and you just need to make sure no one's standing here. And if he is standing here, sometimes he gets on this box, sometimes he plays close on the molly, sometimes he hides, sometimes he goes this way towards the top of the staircase, right? And that's where you're going to die in a 1v1. You never really want to give a player this kill, because then he can honestly just grab your AK and rotate out through B site. So be very, very careful about doing the lower tunnel pinch. But if you can just take mid control with lower and then double clear it, right? Or get close catwalk, right? If you can get the catwalk player here, right? 2 guys here and then 1 guy lower. If you kind of throw some kind of flashbang where you soft clear it, 1 guy holds, 1 guy looks lower with the Xbox guy that's clearing behind the molly. Like, you just want to grab mid control, and this is going to provide you maybe with a kill or at least the map control to, like, make a decision, right? So never overcommit. Okay, and this one's for Fuslie. I keep saying your name wrong. It's my bad. Speaking too fast. Okay, so this one's is for Fuslie, right? How do you kill better players? Well, I can tell you from my own experience that I'm probably stronger than most of the people in the tournament, and my computer sucks and I lag, right? So that tells you, like, how good I am. Not really, but this is my ego is out of control. All right, so on Dust 2, you'll see a lot of smokes here, right? So if you're the T side and you're like, oh damn, I'm smoked off, bro. What do I do? Like, oh my god, right? And it's like, okay, we're doing an A split, which means we're going up cat and we're coming out long, right? What should you do here? Well, you should probably learn some utility, right? So, to be honest, there's this smoke here, right? You aim at the bottom of the staircase that goes connected to the wall. You just left click. It helps you make some space so that you can walk out onto the site. There's a little bit of a gap, but that's okay. You just need to not get shot from car or elevator. There's other smokes too that, you know, you can line up this way. I line it up here where I come in the middle of the door. And there's usually a dot. I haven't done this in so long. I think it's this one. There's a dot over here. You can also try that. And it lands there, which is basically the same smoke I just showed you, except that there's more of a gap here. And then there's another one where I don't actually know where the other one is. I can't remember. There's another smoke that's pretty... Oh. You come here in this corner and you aim. There's 3 of these orange and blue windows. On the third one in the center, you left click and it smokes new box, right? So this helps you walk out. Paired with the other one, it's also very good. It's a double cat execute and it helps you get to this point. Now be very careful about getting to this point because this player is going to be hard to kill when you guys are coming out. Also, this player could be on the box, right? And he's just going to hold the edge of the smoke. So be very careful. Flashbangs are your friend. How do you kill better players? You create space with smoke grenades and you blind the better player with a flashbang. Where do you throw your flashbangs? You come here, right? And you throw flashbangs high. Now, this could blind your long players, so don't do that, right? Have your long players take space and, you know, shoot that guy on the box here, and then while you're coming this way, at the same time, well, that guy's exposed on the box and that guy's exposed on the ramp. So the only place the guy can really be safe from one of the angles is Goose, which he can be seen from long. So he has to position himself not exposed to long, which means that he probably has to swing catwalk. If he's swinging catwalk, your team can walk up on the left side here on long and shoot that guy in the back, right? Because on long executes, you're going to be smoking this off. And the only thing you have to worry about is the guy Goose, right? So if you do an A split timed correctly, synced up with your teammates, better players will stand no chance. Now, the other thing I was going to mention is, like, let's say you don't have the long split, right? And we're smoking off catwalk, right? CT's smoke cat. How do I kill a better player in this position? Well, if you know that they're kind of stacked A, or maybe you heard the guy on the box here, or you saw him, or maybe he was here, or you saw the smoke come in from, like, you know, the guy threw it this way, and you saw the way it bounced, well, you can kind of make an assumption that the CT player is pushing up along the side of the smoke, right? So smoke's gonna land here. A lot of players, like bad players, are drawn to smokes. So, like, in your case, as a bad player, you might be drawn to the smoke where you get up on this box and you try to, like, peek this way, and you're just gonna die, right? But in their case, because they're a bad player, they might be drawn to the smoke where they play like this. And the problem with playing like this, even though you're behind the smoke, is, well, the T's don't have to push through it. Like, the advantage to the smoke is if the T's push through, right? So if they push through, you're behind him, you shoot him in the back, right? It's great. It's fantastic. You made an insane play. Holy shit, you're GoPro, right? But if they don't push through the smoke and they wait the smoke out, well, you're kind of stuck here, and now you have to fight 2 to 3 players on headshot angles, and it's not good. So you could do that. Alternatively, the smoke's down. You know he's going to go to the left side, right? And he's along the wall. So you just shoot along the wall. He's dead. You get a free kill. The mid player goes CT because the catwalk player just died. And then you guys have a B lurk and you jump down. Maybe you throw a mid to B smoke. If you know how, it should land up here somewhere. If I can angle it, fuck it, whatever. I'll just teach it to you. So you drop down here and you got the thin one. This is going to be really hard to commit to memory, but okay, there's a gap in the teeth you've got your two front teeth, and then there's a small tooth next to your left big tooth, right? So bang, right? We go right here next to the fucking dot, and then we jump throw while crouching jump throw, and then boom, into beast smoke, right? And then what do? Well, there could be some loser behind the fucking door with a shotgun. Maybe we just pull one of these out of our ass, and then we go bang, and then that was not a good molly. Why did that miss so badly? Okay, it's kind of hard to see, but you're gonna do the fucking smoke, and then it's not the right corner, it's not the left corner, it's where the sun meets the green over here. There's shading on the sun from the corner right here. Okay, that's not really what I wanted. Right above that bullet hole. Hard to see, right? But you're going to aim there, and that's going to molly this, which is going to allow you to walk around it, right? And that's going to be smoked. So what you need to look is here. You need to look here. And LILYPICHU, she shift cleared this, right? She's like, she had a Glock, I think. Maybe she didn't. She was here in a 2v3, and there was an op there on the left, and she went like this. She said, "Oh my God, that's an op! I don't know what to do," and she just hid. Right? Don't panic. Right? That's what flashbangs are for. So throw a high flashbang, run out, blind. Right? It'll probably go after the blind. So throw a high flash, go here, blind, wait for the shot. Honestly, probably wait for the shot, because if you go here and he's blind, there's a good chance you die. So wait for the op shot. After the op shot happens, slip in here. If you have another flashbang, throw another one, up high, clear scaffold, right? Clear here, window, because he probably didn't, like, if he shot and ran away, he's probably not ready window yet. So just look scaffold, look window, then look door, right? And then come this way if you can, because if he went here, he can't really peek you here, right? He's holding for you to go wide. So if you go straight at him this way, he can't do anything. You can look scaffold, you'll hear him, you'll kill him, right? So yeah, like the thing is like LILYPICHU, she was shifting mid door against the op. That's gonna get you killed. Dry peeking it is gonna get you killed. Going right as the flash pops, going to get you killed, right? So use the flash, blind, op shot. You have 2 to 3 seconds to come out. And then you've now gotten here, which you can drop another smoke if you want. And then you can go into the CT smoke, or you can flash and, you know, try to pressure B, right? If you go into the CT smoke, there's going to be a guy behind it, right? So maybe pre-fire this corner and then come out and then make sure you have multiple people to trade, right? But you never want to be shift peeking things, because this is not Valorant. If you were ever going to fight that guy, you need to come out wide at a full speed, right? So you want to start peeking over here against that guy, and then you want to be coming out full fucking speed. Ideally, you don't want to get stuck on the Xbox, so you want to be aiming to go over here, right? So you come out fast, right? And if you don't come out fast, you can you can do one of these, right? You can just randomly crouch and get here, right? Or you can kind of, you know, I would say crouch earlier is better than later, right? So that was bad. But like here, like if you do like if you start crouching here and then you start shooting, man, like that's going to be annoying to deal with, to be honest, rather than just standing in the door frame or shifting into the door frame and making the shot easy. You either want to go full speed, or you want to go full speed with a crouch, right? And, you know, or if you're just trying, like if you're not trying to kill him, you can run, crouch, uncrouch, and then maybe he'll miss because he'll be aiming at your right shoulder. And if he's aiming at your right shoulder and you crouch, the bullet's going to go past you, and then you're going to be here, and then he's going to have to run away. Also, thing to note, right, about Dust 2. If you notice that the enemy team is playing too long, early round, 1 cat, early round, 1 B, and 1 mid, and the guy mid is either rifling or opping, if you notice that he's on this back wall a lot, this is the player you should be focusing, right? If the catwalk player is pushing middle, right, and he goes like this every round, this is the player you should be focusing during your rounds. You kill this guy first because he's the most exposed. If they have a player that you see crosses into lower a lot, or you see a smoke like this, right? If you ever see this smoke, be on super, super high alert. This smoke or this smoke, right? Or even a molly right here. Be on high alert, right? Because if there's a molly here, he's probably in lower. If there's a smoke on either one of these locations, it means there's a chance that someone's trying to come top mid and do this against you, right? So he's either sneaking into suicide to flank you, he's getting in this corner because it's undercleared and a weird off angle, or he's trying to fight you while you guys are crossing the long. So if you ever see this smoke, be on super, super high alert, right? Make sure you have 2 players here for the trade. Try not to peek like 1 by 1. Make sure someone's holding your suicide, right? What I like to do is like, oh shit, top mid smoke, right? If I was the guy throwing long flashes, I might flash my teammate out, and then it's like, oh shit, they smoked top mid, let me hold suicide, right? So I might come up here by these walls, and then I'll hold the gap right here, right? Like I'll hold this. Did they lower this? Dude, I think they moved the walls here. Am I bugging? This looks higher. This looks like it's in a different location because there was 100% a bigger wall here to hold over. Whatever. Still same idea. You're going to want to come up here and hold an angle like this against the guy. I wouldn't play here if you're holding suicide because this angle, it kind of favors the suicide guy. But, okay, like, you ever see one of those smokes, you should be on high alert to kill that player top mid. Your whole team should focus on it. You kill him, and then you go somewhere else because you have the man advantage. What was I talking about prior? Okay, the back wall thing. Okay, so the back wall. If there's ever a guy here on the back wall, he's playing it wrong, especially if he's opping in the mid round. Okay, I can't pull out the op because I don't have the console coming. Hold on. Okay, so anybody opping here in your little tournament is doing it wrong because they're so susceptible to the flashbangs that I was mentioning before that when they get blind, they have to run this way. And while they're running this way, you're running out, and you're going to shoot him in the back while he's jumping window, right? So he's basically a free kill every time. If in your own games, right, like this could be a better player, and he's trusting his aim too much with the op, right? He's like, oh, I'm going to get all these angles, all this mid info, but his position is wrong. So how do you beat better players? You identify either weaknesses in his teammates so you can take advantage of map control somewhere else, or you identify that this player is playing incorrectly, right? And he might be able to beat you because his mechanics are better, but he's in the wrong spot, right? So he should be along this wall because he can shoot, tuck, re-peek, or he's along the wall. He can get to safety faster. And ideally, at some point during the round, like especially if it's like one of his teammates died and he needs to reposition, he shouldn't be here. He should either be, you know, going long if he got a kill mid already, or if he didn't get a kill and it kind of seems like you guys are going to go B or do a mid to B split, he should come window, right? He should be playing a behind cover, right? So how do you beat better players? You play behind cover. More on that on overpass. Again, there's just the overall theme of, like, I'm giving some like generic advice, but the overall theme of the video is how do you beat better players? Well, I believe it has to do with the map pick, and it also has to do with your information on the map, right? And how you play the map. So overpass is a very, very hard map for people to play. But I'll think about the T side later, but let's just focus on the CT side right now. So CT side, as an A player, you smoke this, right, at the beginning. Very easy lineup. It gives you fountain control. So now early round, when you get to here, you can hold the smoke for a push. You can nade behind it, but I would prefer you keep your gun up. You can go here. There's also a molly that can be paired with it that goes here. So if you play someone like Jake and Bake on the map, he'll probably learn this nade combo. And that's not going to be very fun for you guys, right? This smoke is not fun to play against for the T's because, well, they come here and they have to run through a smoke. And by the time they run here, you're already peeking and they're dead, right? And by the time they come here, there is a molly lineup that lands here. And, well, it's really annoying to run through and or use the smoke for, right? So the only thing you need, right, is... I'll just do it for you, but, like, the molly's a bit harder, right? So it's just this. There's a light. The light is connected to some pole. In the pole, there's a little white mark. You jump there on the white mark. Then, here, there's these two lines that go across, and there's this little staircase. In the middle of the vertical line and the horizontal line and the floor, right? So there's a vertical line in the middle of that. You're going to run when you get halfway through the steps, right? These steps right here. I think I missed, which is why it's harder, right? So it hit, right? But the thing about this is, like, sometimes the mollies in the game, they don't actually land on the floor. They explode midair. See, like, that thing was right here. Sorry, it was, like, right there, kind of in the middle. It was right here, right? And it just blew up, right? And that's kind of bullshit, and I wish the game didn't have grenades like that, but there is a necessity for grenades like that. So the molly's harder. You don't really need it, but it helps, right? It's super, super, super annoying. Then you need one flashbang.
Deploying flashbang.
Bang. And then, by then, they should be at the top of the stairs. And you peek this. I wouldn't flash a second time because you will blind your teammate. If you do flash a second time, try to flash up here towards the tree or maybe something like this where your teammate is peeking the smoke. And the flashbang lands on his right. Right, so it blinds. I mean, the flashbang actually does nothing effectively. I didn't even really consider that. Yeah, don't throw that flashbang. Right, so he can peek the smoke here, and then he can go close playground if he wants. And then if he doesn't hear anything, he could be like, "Oh, it's not A, it's probably B, guys." Right, so early A Inferno, pretty easy, right? You can leave one guy around here to lurk as a CT. To make sure they don't have any late connector nonsense. But on most of your overpass rounds, you're going to be falling back, right? You're going to be falling back towards this bathroom's position. You're going to be playing angles like this, right? There's a shadow advantage here. You kill him, you drop, right? Kill another one. Sometimes if you're good, right? If you play the Burnt Peanuts team on overpass, right? They're going to have a rifle player here. He's going to destroy you. He's going to destroy you right here, right? If you play a team that has a good opper, he's going to destroy you right here, right? But to be honest, good rifle player against, let's say, I don't know, an opper, he might die here because he's overswinging, right? And also, you don't know whether or not they understand how to play the map. So even though your team maybe is not as good, if you have a better understanding of the map, is what's more important, because you'll understand what to look for. So defensively, you don't really want to play long, in my opinion. Okay, you don't want to be anywhere here unless you're going for a double aggro push towards playground, so that you can get a trade kill here or maybe catch somebody off guard towards fountain. It can be a very strong play, but I would never really try to defend long because long is not the bomb site. Well, if long is not the bomb site, where should I defend? Well, you should try to use your utility and bleed as much time as possible on the map, but not die. Your objective is to not die on A. So you should kind of play around this area for a little bit. Try not to die. If you think you're going to be at risk of dying, move into a more defensible position, right? So this is a corner that gets pre-aimed. This is an angle. It's pretty crazy. You're probably not killing anybody with an M4, but with an op, this angle is not terrible. This is a corner that's underchecked. So playing this corner is good because you're not exposed to long. The long players have to come out onto the site. So you're focusing here. They will clear you, but you're cleared less. Also, let me put this into perspective. So for a weaker player or a player who doesn't understand overpass, a player playing on this wall and a player playing on this staircase may not seem like much of a big difference. But for a player like me, playing on this wall means I can't be killed from front bathroom, and the long players have to turn around to kill me. So if I have a player on site, the long players are shooting me, they should be getting shot in the side of the head. And at any moment, I can take this corner to take a 1v1 fight. That's a pretty easy fight to win. And let's say I win it or there's no one here, I can quickly tuck here against the long push and live, right? And then I'm also defending the bomb site because I have vision of the default bomb plant spot and the cross to bank, right? So whenever I take my swing, I can apply pressure, right? As a defender, right? So playing on this wall is very strong. You just have to get used to it. Try to get some reps. What I would say is, like, I'd recommend, if you don't know what to do, you guys could just play games, right? But that's not going to help you really learn the game. You're just going to be playing to play. You're making money on your stream. You're fucking thinking about what you're going to order from fucking DoorDash. You guys aren't actually getting better at the game. You're just playing the game, which is making you better, but it's not like a proactive way of making you better. So if you guys actually wanted to get better, I would go into a custom match and play like a 2v3 setup, or get some of your friends maybe that are not in the tournament, and because you guys are going to warm up on the game anyways, right? So I would do like a 3v3 scrim on bomb sites. So do a 3v3 scrim. Don't give each other information. Just say what bomb site you guys want to play, and then kind of do this. You guys have viewers, you guys have mods, you can do it on stream, you can do it off stream. You might be giving up some of your industry fucking secrets on how to play the game, but at the end of the day, like, if you know how to take this fight right here, or you know, like, see, I don't even know myself whether it's better to stand at the bottom or at the top or in the middle, right? I understand there's some advantage to playing here against the player here, right? Because there's a shadow advantage and there's a surprise swing advantage. It might be better to play closer. Obviously, if you ask Flom, he's like, well, you should play further back because you get to see him first, right? And there's some truth to that. But if I play further back, I'm more exposed to long, right? So maybe I want to play halfway up so that I can swing here and then be less, kind of still exposed. But what I'm saying is you want to play on that wall, okay? And the reason you want to play on that wall is because if you stand on this staircase, you have no cover. You have no backup plan. If they swing front bath, you can lose. If they swing banana and it's a long-range fight, you can die. And then, like, think about it. You died all the way over there, which means that your B rotators have absolutely no time to rotate, right? Because now, like, the long push is coming in and you died super early. What you want to be doing is dropping defensive smokes all the time, whether it's this one, on any map. You always want to try to drop smokes that keep you alive, if you have it, right? So on Mirage, under balcony, if the A push is coming in, you drop a smoke. If you're on default A site Mirage, you drop a smoke. Here, if the pressure is coming, if you feel the pressure, if you feel like you're gonna die, drop a smoke, hide in this corner, hold the long push, right? Hold the long push. This corner is super strong. They have to full clear it, and it's a really good angle where you can only die from one angle. It's the long swing, right? So you hold long swing, you get a fair fight. Because if I'm the long player, I'm clearing the close corner here on the left. I'm worried about bank. I have to worry about the dice box. I have to worry about someone truck or default. I have to clear close scoreboard. and then I can't even really see you. Like I probably see you because the corner's not it's not as deep as it looks, okay? But I have to look at like 5 different things, and by the time I get to you, I'm probably exposed, and you probably killed me. So again, that corner is not awful. This wall is very strong situationally, depending on what's happening behind you. Like you need a player holding your long, right? So if you had a player here holding your long, it's totally acceptable to play there. You swing banana, right? Swing banana. You see nothing. You see nothing on your screen. You turn around. Your teammate's shooting the long players. You turn around. You can shoot them with your teammate, or you can hide and play more defensive. I would fight with your team to deny them, enemy team, the bomb site. Keep in mind, if you're ever hiding on this truck, right, you can be seen by someone over here, right? They can see like your leg. So you need to really think about how you play this. If you ever hold an angle like this, understand that if you're ever jiggling like this, there can always be a timing where the guy gets past you. If you're crouching here, right, this is like maybe not a bad angle, but you're not really holding for long, right? And I don't recommend like playing off the bomb site. Like I think if you can, play on the bomb site. If you can, like if you're careful about standing still, you're a very, very easy pre-aim. You're an easy pre-aim, but like let's say I have some utility, I smoke off the push, right? I throw a flashbang, right? Or maybe I'm bank, right? And you never really want to be holding like this unless you have an op. It's very hard to play the A site, but it's also very hard to take the A site. And I imagine people in this tournament aren't really going to be knowing what they're doing against A site. Like A site's very complicated. But if you can just situate yourself somewhere in some corner to get a double kill, it makes all the difference. If you can kill 2 players, it makes the round so much more winnable. Really in any scenario, but if the clock is low and you kill 2 players walking onto the bomb site, and then you reload and you don't die, right? If you don't die, it's just so good. It's just so good, right? There's kind of flashbangs you can do. I think there's better ones, but that should be pretty good against a long flash. Yeah, I mean, stuff like that. Like if you're behind this truck and you throw this flashbang, and I try not to blind yourself, but like, right, you can do something like that. Like that honestly wasn't that bad of an attempt. A lot of the times you will want to drop a smoke, on front site, or if you feel the pressure coming, right? Smoke front bath, right? So now that's limiting, right? The bathroom player can't come out, so they can only swing you from flower pot. This used to be a flower pot. It's now an AC fan, right? So now they can only swing you from here. So if you hold here or here, right? You're not exposed to long, and you're holding the headshot angle where they come up. And if you play Valorant, you should be able to hit the headshot angle. Those are the angles. Angles like this, right? Angles like this, if you're a Val player, that should be your bread and butter, right? Another thing to do, basic overpass thing. You want to smoke monster, right? So you come up to this dumpster, and you aim at this telephone pole, and you aim all the way along the left side. Then you throw that shit. Then you go this way, right? You come this way. So monster smoke. Sometimes you throw a molly like this. Right? You can kind of throw it any way you want. Some people do it on the door. Some people do it while running. Some people do it in this corner. You just want to aim, if you're here. I don't have a specific lineup, but there's a wooden window. I usually just aim at the wooden window one. And it's mollied off, right? There's wall bangs for this. I don't do the wall bang. Don't worry about that. Too advanced, right? You can come to this door. There's some leaves that hang off the corner of this stone, right? Cement, whatever. Throw an HE grenade, right? What does that do? I missed. No fucking way. Okay, what does a nade like that do? Well, it allows you to peek into connector. So you come onto the sandbags, you jump peek. What should the setup be for an overpass game? It should be 3 players B, 2 players A, most rounds. If you want to play unorthodox, you can come down connector and swing, and come here and swing canal. Especially paired with the molly, because sometimes they sit behind the molly. Sometimes they smoke the molly and run through water, right? So you come here, you shoot that guy. Hopefully you have a B player push through and help you, right? And if it's their best player who sees this molly, right? And he's like, okay, I see the molly. I'm going to do this. I come here, right? Sometimes they throw a flashbang off this. And if you're a B player, you come here, right? And you'll be blind, but your teammate will come out con with you. Now, a lot of people, oh, level maximum. Why don't you bring out the fucking tricks, man? Why don't you bring out the boost, right? Well, I don't really recommend the boost. It's good. It's good. Especially if the door is open, because you can see the feet. You can see the feet through con. But the thing is, I really don't think you should be boosting if you don't have 3 players on the bomb site. Or if there's more than, like, if there's more than 2 players live on the enemy team, I don't think you should be boosting. Or if you have 3 players on your bomb site. Because if you have a monster player, how do you play monster? Well, it should be smoked at the beginning of the round, right? There's other ways to re-smoke it, which you can learn. You can play in this corner, right? You can play back here. You can play monster. You can sit here, right? You can jiggle like this. What am I standing on? You can jiggle like this, right? Again, never peek on the back wall here on con. Always peek closer, I think, because you want the cover. You can play on the wood wall here and wait for the swing. So as long as someone's covering your monster, then you can boost, right? That's why you need 3 players. Someone needs to be holding your close monster. And this is another angle. How do you kill good players? Right here. This one's really annoying for good players to deal with. Okay, like let's say this really works for any kind of anti-B rush on overpass or like pistol rounds. So if you can, and you're a B player, I would try to come short, hold for water, hide behind the sandbag. Because if they call a monster rush, right, you'll hear them stomping, you'll be able to count footsteps, they'll come up, they'll soft clear this, they'll kill your site player, they'll start planning, right? Maybe one guy will come this way and he'll look con. So the thing is you can kill this guy fast, right, in the back, and then you kill the planner, and then you hide. So like, how do you kill good players? Sit in a location where it's super unexpected. And like, what you want to do is not make noise if there's a smoke here, and then try not to run on the wood, right? Because if you're running on wood, that tells the enemy team that you're bridge. So if they kill a guy on site over here, well, he wasn't walking on the bridge. So there's another player that was bridge that kind of disappeared. So they have to be short, right? So then you get hard cleared short. But the idea is you shift, you let them out monster, you hide, right? Because if you sit here, your teammate dies. You can't trade him because you can't see them on your screen yet. And then 4 guys swing you on the first pre-aim into the bomb site, right? So they kill your teammate here, and then they pre-aim this way. So if you're standing in the pre-aim, because they're looking graffiti, and there's 4 Glocks doing this, you're going to die. So there's no real point in playing off your teammate. You just hide here, wait, let them plant, peek out, headshot. Maybe you come this way, you kill a guy there, kill this guy, and it's gravy, right? But the whole time you're worried about the water push, right? So you just hold for the water push. You're like, okay, no water push. Maybe he's here. Oh my God. Maybe he's here holding con, right? He could be there. He could still be there, but he's not pushing. So you just wait. You wait for the bomb plant. That's how you kill better players. Yeah, like keep it in mind. You never just overall, if you play overpass, you can beat better teams by knowing the map better and knowing when to defensively leave this area because it's not the bomb site, leave this area because it's not the bomb site. When you get to the bomb site, don't stand here, hide behind cover, right? So, you know, you can play here, but you're going to get pre-aimed, so hide behind cover, use the boxes here, isolate fights, use the truck, use that truck, use the dumpster, use this wall, right? Use that wall right here. You always want to isolate fights and never be exposed to multiple angles. If you can isolate fights, everything that you're going to need to kill is going to be in front of you. T-side, listen, you guys are going to have to do your own research on, you know, certain rushes or executes. What I can say is it helps if you throw a smoke like this, right? Tons of ways to throw that smoke. I do it that way. You can also do it this way. There used to be a sign that's not here anymore, unless it is here. Okay, so you come here, you aim at this triangle, I think. Is it the center or is it the top? It's the center of the triangle. So come to the staircase here, center of the triangle, right? Jump throw. Now you have a front bathroom smoke. With your front bathroom smoke, you should be able to flash over connector, run this way. If there's a smoke down, be careful. Sometimes you can throw an HE this way to maybe ask the enemy team not to push you, right? So if you're smoked off, throw an HE and be like, please don't push me, right? Always come along the right side of the wall, right? So you can't be peeked from party. When you get here, peek party, peek close, right? Try to throw a flashbang over con. If you throw a flashbang over con, this is smoked, right? You smoked it at the beginning of the round, right? Now you have a flashbang over con. Then you pre-aim divider, right? Kill the divider player. He should be blind, or he has an up, right? Honestly, just pre-fire it. He's probably there. There's like literally a 75% chance he's standing there, okay? After that, if you have a molly that, and then double swing top con. When you double swing top con, there could be a guy up here, right? He could be here, which is stupid. He could be here, which is a headshot angle, and, well, it's not really a good defensive position because, like I said, if you're a CT, you don't want to be dying early in the round. You should be dying on the bomb site late in the round. You should never be dying early round. But there are some advantages to playing here. It's a headshot angle. You can move around a lot, right? A lot of people will do this. If you do this, it's probably really annoying to kill you, right? Like, I imagine, like, your head and your body's moving so much because you're on a staircase and you're just moving in circles, right? But if you come out, right, I hard clear you. I can pre-fire you. I can kill you myself. And if I kill you with my teammate, at the same time, he can go up on the bench, right? And we double swing you, right? Make sure you're double swinging. It's all about team trading and team fragging and team play, right? All right, so if you're going out long, right? Motherfucker, throw a flashbang up here. Swing this. Bang! Okay? Learn some smokes and mollies and flashes for the A site. But basically, you want to grab this early round, T side. Then you want to come down connector, clear out connector. Sometimes you have a con player. What should your con player be doing? Well, hopefully, he had the best spawn, right? And then he's like, all right, guys, I'm going to go connector, right? And the CT gets to the bottom of connector 1 second faster than this guy, right? So, or maybe you get there 1 second faster. Get there 1 second faster, throw an HE grenade, because if he tries to fight you, he's going to take 50 HP, right? Boom, he's dead, 50 HP, you just fucking run him down like the dog he is. Fucking kill him, right? And then you guys have all of connector and all of front A. Then you can do an A execute, or you can do an A fake and go to B. And then, or you can have your B lurk come in while the A players are rotating, right? And then your B lurk, he's fucking outside monster, and he's fucking. Okay, you know what I mean? It's just like, bro, the game's so easy, man. Okay, so one last thing, right? One last some final thoughts, right? Okay, hopefully AT&T adds cash, right? That would be exciting from a viewership perspective. I would love to see people play cash. The thing is it's a great map if you're actually playing games to get better, because this is a good practice map for, one, your aim and crosshair placement, and two, building your game sense for understanding how to read rotations and when the enemy team is flanking you. It's probably the best map. It's how I learned how to play the game. I grinded out cash games, right? Because I would do all types of mid takes, right, or splits or executes, right? I would, sometimes grab into the vent, and I would understand that because we've applied so much pressure mid and so much pressure B, right, that the A player is either coming highway or he's coming A main, right? So if he comes highway, this is highway. If he comes highway because I broke the vent, maybe I can break the vent. He'll be like, oh, the vent's broken. He'll clear mid, right? He might clear new box. He might clear cubby, right? And then while he's doing this, I can swing out, right? Or I can hide garage and wait for him to come towards the vent, right? Or if he's coming down highway, then I peek out and I kill him when he's going Z, right? And if he's A main, I'll probably hear him, so I can just wait for him here. You know what I mean? It's a really nasty lurk spot, right? If you're playing cash, you want to have somebody kind of lurking mid, right? It's so defeating, bro, when you lose to the guy that's hiding in the corner for the rotation kills. When he slips up like a slippery snake towards the white box and he kills your quad player, right? Or, maybe you have some smoke executes here that land somewhere. And I don't know. I'm just brainstorming here because I haven't played New Cash that much. Let's say he slips into this smoke right here, and then he goes, oh, there's your default player. Oh, there's your forklift player, right? Maybe he ignores those players, right? And he just goes straight this way. I mean, there's all sorts of things you can do on the T side of Cash, right? It's a very, very fun map. Unfortunately, again, you got to worry about people with good rifling core, teams with good rifling cores. Now, you know your opponents. Maybe, if you want, you can go try to study some of their tendencies and see if they like to overswing. That's a bit fucking advanced and psychotic. But what should you do on T side? Well, you should learn how to smoke Z. Okay. You should maybe learn some kind of top highway smoke. You should learn how to smoke the A cross. Maybe how to molly forklift. There's smokes that land here that are good depending on what your strategy is. But keep in mind, if you smoke this off, the A player back here is going to be able to hide behind the smoke, right? And he'll be alive for a while. So if you're gonna do some kind of smoke here, you probably want to pair it with a smoke here and a smoke here, or maybe this one. So you come out A, you clear forklift, you clear this, you worry about the E box, and then you just clear sight this way, right? Something like that. I mean, it's, because it's a streamer tournament, someone's going to boost Shroud. You should probably put Ludwig up there once just to say he did it, right? So, you know what I mean? Like, another thing, we're going back to the theme. How do we beat better players? Well, sometimes the T side, you're going to be that lurker, right? You're going to be that mid lurker, or maybe you guys are just doing a contact play, right? You're in a 1v2. I'm fuslie, right? I'm in a 1v2. I come this way. I see a CT right in front of me, okay? He's doing this, right? He's doing this, right? So what is he doing? He's holding for the A cross. What does that tell me? He probably doesn't have a teammate on A site. Now, he could have a teammate that's hiding quad, playing super passively, and they're both playing for the A bomb site. However, in many scenarios, that is unlikely. So it's just unlikely, right? Because he's looking here, right? What is he defenseless to? He's defenseless to someone coming mid, which means he thinks it's not mid. Why might he think it's not mid? Well, if you got to this point, maybe you walk through a smoke, right? You could have walked through a smoke in middle, and you came here, right? And you were garage. Your last known location was garage, and you see a CT here. Well, what does that tell me? It tells me that he doesn't think he can die to mid, so his teammate could be here, right? And you're just not on his screen. It also tells me that if you walk through a smoke, there is a chance that he was also in the smoke, and now he's holding front garage, right? So if you can do some pattern recognition, right, and understand, well, why the fuck is that CT not looking at me? Why is he not aware of middle? It will also tell you the location of the other player. Sometimes. There are certain scenarios where you'll be like, whoa, wait, this guy's not covering something he should totally be covering. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it, but be like, okay, there's a guy here. I can use trigger discipline. Let me look behind me. Well, he's not in this corner. He's not in that corner. Let me clear close Z. Oh my god, he's there. I killed him. And then I swung highway, got the transfer, and I just won a 1v2, right? All because even though I didn't know where this player was, I saw how this player was behaving. So how do you beat better players? This might be fucking Summit in here, right? And he's just like this, right? Summit is playing a defensive position. He's playing behind cover, right? These are things you want to do against better players. It's also just typical standard CS, right? You want to play here, right? So I'm staying moving. I'm not staying static, and I have cover, right? Summit is not doing anything wrong, right? But there you got past the vision gap, right? If you play League of Legends, there's wards everywhere, right? You slip past one of the fucking ward bushes, and now you get to kill the fucking mid laner in the back, right? And then the support comes over who fucked up the ward, right? And you know, he's like, oh shit, maybe like you could do it where you sneak up Z and you kill him, or you could kill this player, right? And then turn around, and then because Summit was basically like shifting the whole time, right? And he's like, oh, it's up highway, that's crazy, man. Let me just do this, right? And then you're holding for him. Like Summit's never going to expect someone to be crouching like this. I mean, I'm not going to discredit him. Maybe he would, but like if someone's just crouching here waiting for the Z swing, Summit will probably kill you because he's good. But like another player, let me think. Maybe a Scump, right? Scump's on your team. Okay, a nade shot. All right, nade shot is around face it level 8, right? Good player, right? He's here. You kill his teammate on highway. He's like, oh shit, right? And then he might look top highway. He might look in the corner here. But if he might misclear the bottom of his screen. So if he misclears the bottom of his screen and he has to make an adjustment, he's already dead here. He's already dead here because he's exposed. And then he was like, in his mind, he was like, I'm going to clear top highway. I'm going to clear the corner of top highway. But he has to make an adjustment towards the bottom, and he can't see you until here. And he's already too far away to kill you. So it's about positioning yourself to fuck up someone's pre-aim, and then recognizing the fucking pattern of how someone else is playing to find the other player. Also, sometimes you're going to need to break out aggression, okay? Now, I don't always recommend it. It's not something you want to do every round, but like whether you're on one side or another side, sometimes you need to be aggressive. So like something I used to do on older versions of Cash is I would come out heaven, I would throw this deep B main smoke, I would come this way and I would instantly fight here, right? I might spray on the smoke, right? I might come up this way and look over the smoke. I might nade behind the smoke. I might throw a flashbang here and run through the smoke, right? And it's like, it's unexpected, but, and I could lose, like I could die, right? I could die, and then I'll lose the B bomb site. So you want to be aggressive. Maybe you do some aggressive play here, but you tell your team, hey, let's actually play 3B this round. So you still have 2 B defenders after the aggression, right? And you can just leave 1A. So actually on Cash, like I imagine if you guys played in the tournament, a lot of teams are going to be playing 2-1-2, right? And if I was Summit's team, if I was Summit, I would play mid alone, and I would try to get as much value as I can, right? And then just hope that my anchor players do well in their own right. But actually on Cash, it's pretty advantageous to have one guy A, 2 guys middle, right? So one guy middle, right? What you're going to do is it takes 8 seconds for the T to peek this from the start of the round. So you smoke it and then you molly, right? So there's a molly here you can do where you come up to the spoil and you left click here and it lands up there. Or you could try to, you know, just do one on your own. Something like that will probably suffice. So smoke this as soon as you can. You can count to 8 if you're broke, if your team's broke, and you want to kill, you know, an AK player, right? Count towards 8 from spawn, right, with a grenade, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? And then I throw this, and he peeked. You might even want to throw on 7, right? So 7, 8, right? And then boom, that guy just took 50 damage. If there was multiple nades, he's dead. And then maybe you smoke it and you grab his gun. You play in the corner, somebody hold the boost, right? Like you can take mid control with fucking nothing. You can't take mid control, but you can counter mid control with very limited resources. And you just want to close the gap. Maybe you go for a counter boost. Maybe you go for the crossfire here, where you have one guy stand here, one guy stand over there. You could stand here with the deagle and try to peek into garage. A little risky, right? You guys can counter boost. This angle, if you guys play cash, is pretty. It's pretty nice, right? You have a little bit of cover towards the boost. If you crouch this way and they come out mid, you're a hard clear. The molly usually misses you, so you can stand here, right? So the other aggressive play, it's like let's say we're CT. Let's say we're CT, we aggressively, like, the enemy team's pushing B main every fucking round, right? So I might drop here with an op, right, if I'm good. I might kill that guy, and then I can re-peek this side, or I can re-peek this side. I can throw a flashbang like this, right? And then I can try to run away. And then my teammate on site, if they're still pushing, he can throw a molly like this. He can nade like this, and he's going to help me escape, right? If I'm CT and they're rushing B every round, right? I could do that, or I could do this, right? I could jump forward, peek close. Peek close. Why do I peek close? Because I can see a little bit deeper, and I can kill anybody coming close on the wall. Kill that guy, reset, go back to site, play on missile, kill this guy, reset, come back, hold checkers, kill that guy, re-peek, kill the guy close, right? If I'm under pressure, right, and I have a rifle, right, I can throw a flashbang like this, right? Blind, and I swing. If I'm anchoring, right? If I'm anchoring and I'm really worried, actually, I don't know if you can make this jump anymore. You can. Okay, so you can jump this way, or you can jump from default, right? You can play. This is a good anchor position, holding for the checkers lurk, or somebody walking out. It's a nice off angle. You can also jump onto this. Be careful, that's going to make noise, but I mean, honestly, they might not hear it because it's wood, which is very interesting. If you land on this part, it's metal. Well, maybe not. Yeah, if you land on the missile thing, it's metal, but if you land on the wood, it's wood, which there's not much wood on the bomb site. So be very careful about doing that. If there's a guy sound whoring, he's going to catch you, but this angle is kind of nasty, right? You're fucking exposed because, like, they put a pipe here, bro. This is insane. All right, so you can't see shit, but anybody walking wide and coming below you is going to probably die, right? And then really the only weakness to this position is 1, flashbangs, and 2, someone coming checkers. So if you have another site player, tell the site player to smoke checkers, right? So now you can't be seen from checkers. If there's big pressure coming in B main, smoke checkers, right? Because they're going to try to cross checkers. You can molly this. You can nade it. If the T's smoke B main, right? You're going to see this sometimes. They're going to smoke B main. Why are they smoking B main? They're trying to get into checkers. So you can molly behind their smoke to deny them from getting checkers. And then after time, if they're in any of those corners, the molly faded and they could be in checkers. If they could be in checkers, if you hear them break the vent, smoke checkers, right? And then just play defensive. Don't take this fight. Really high risk fight right here. Don't do that. Play deeper in the bomb site. Play, you know, be careful about, like, this is the risk of playing cash. Is that it's a very mechanical map, right? It's a very aim heavy map. So if you aim fight here and the enemy team's better, you probably lose. If you aim fight here, yeah, you have cover, but your head is on a platter. So you'll probably die to a guy swinging checkers or coming out this way, right? So what you want to do is like maybe play this way, right? So now you have the cover of this box, the cover of that wall, and the cover of this box helping you on that fight. You can play an off angle, right? You can step back. You can hard tuck, right? I wouldn't really hard tuck, but it'll help you. Like this will definitely get you some kills, right? There's going to be scenarios where the clock is low and they might miss clear, right? And if they miss clear, you get 1 and then you get 2, right? You can get up there. It's cheesy. If B main is ever smoked, you slip into this corner. Be careful about when this smoke fades. Be careful about the other corner right here. You can play anti-flash if it's smoked because they might flash through the smoke, and then you'll be able to shoot them in the back when they're running through the smoke. And if they're in this corner, it's really the only thing you need to worry about, which is why I wouldn't stay still. I would stay moving, right? Just like this, right? If you do this, maybe that guy sees your foot, but if you do this on a fading smoke, you'll have a much better chance to kill this player. And also, playing close pit is pretty good too. Again, a lot of the time as a B-side cash player, you're going to want to be smoking checkers off because that's you know, the T's are probably going to get control of it at some point, and you really just want to bring them in through B main or through a smoke, right? Because if they come B main, you kill them. If they walk through the smoke, you kill them because they're gray screen. And that's pretty much cash. T side, there's some strategies you're going to want to implement. I would try to do cross smokes. Now, I don't actually I don't actually know the lineup for cross smokes, so I'm going to try to make it up right now. I assume there's this one, and there's this one. So if you have 2 smokes, the new box player can't really see you. I mean, I don't remember how cross smokes used to look, to be honest. I thought they went further out, but the new box player can't see you. He can spam over the smoke, obviously, or he can jump up here on the right. You can peek him. And then those 2 smokes just allow you to get out mid, right? And then once you're out mid, you can also just do the Z smoke and fight the white box player. But again, if the white box player is Summit and he's here, right? Or he's here, he might kill 2 or 3 of you, right? So you're going to need to go boost, right? You're going to, like, if you can do a double smoke execute, let it fade. Okay, I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to molly sandbags without knowing a real lineup. But, okay, you do those cross smokes that I just taught you. I'm sure there's maybe a better variation of them. I really don't remember how they used to look, right? But, I mean, that seems like that's good enough to get out onto the site. And then they fade, you come out, you throw a flashbang like this, come through the smoke, right? Maybe this is smoked, this is mollied, maybe you molly here, right? And then you have a teammate go up top to trade your sandbags. So if he's trading your sandbags, you just ignore sandbags and you swing this way with the flashbang, right? So what that's going to look like is smoke here, smoke here, molly Z, flashbang, turn back, no blind, right? And then you peek off the flash. And then somebody on highway should be blind. If you die to sandbags, let your teammate deal with it, right? And then boom, like honestly, like you have an opening kill, maybe 2 opening kills even if they played 2 mid, and then you can work from there. So what does that mean? There's 3 players alive. There's at least 1 B and there's at least 1 A. So you find the stack, right? And then maybe you don't find the stack, right? You have this space. Now, if you have another smoke top highway, then you come here, right? You hold for rotation, right? You can get curious if you want, but don't get too funny now. You can go here, right? So you can crouch, peek truck. Okay, see that there's not 1 truck. You can leave a guy here to stall for rotations, right? And then let's say realistically, Sandbags player killed the white box player, right? Sandbags player and top highway are dead. White box players is dead. So you're in a 4v3. You can leave one player in Z to cut off rotations. Use the other 3 players along with this top highway smoke to, well, you can get curious around the smoke. You can jiggle peek off the ladder like this for info. You guys can go into vent and try to maybe get some info. You guys can just hold for garage. You guys, I mean, honestly, there's 4 of you. So at the end of the day, you either go up highway as a team and just trade out, or you go through this as a team and you trade out. I mean, you can get fancy, but honestly, if you have the numbers and you know the enemy team is split up, you just trade frag. I mean, it's really simple. You just play as a team. Like, more often than not, even if the enemy team has good players, if the one player is alone or he's got a bad player with him or something, he's probably not killing 4 to 5 players. So if you just move as a unit, it's not gonna happen, bro. And I hope this video helped. I'm just rambling, and I don't know, bro. I'm losing my mind over here. I think I've lost it.